Yeah, Timmy the Lounge Lizard. Hopefully, I will make you laugh. Now, you're probably wondering, why is this old geezer up on stage trying to break into comedy? Well, I'll tell you, my friends have always said that I'm a stand-up comedian, because when I stand up, they laugh at me, not with me. So when I was younger, I always thought, hey, what can I do when I grow up? My first thought was, I could be an ophthalmologist. But you know, the more I looked into it, I just couldn't see myself doing it. And then later I thought, well, I could be a dentist. When I found out how much school was involved, I just couldn't sink my teeth into that. I just couldn't. No. So in high school, I played football. I thought NFL. I'm going to the NFL, not a whole lot of schooling's involved. How did that work out for me? So it's not like I didn't have any career guidance in high school. We did. They had what they called career day at school. My senior year, they invited companies to bring their representatives in, which was great. They would teach you how to write a resume, and they would teach you what to say in an interview. And this would have been fantastic, except I was at the beach because I heard ditch day. So, speaking of careers, what is up with proctologists? That has got to be a crappy job. At what point in your life do you think to yourself, you know, I want to work with assholes all day? And urologists, why do they always seem to be pissed off? Probably because they've been pissed on, and yeah, I guess I would be too if I had to work with dicks and nuts all day. Do you think that if podiatrists and proctologists got together and had a convention, do you think that would be a kick in the tuchus? And now there are three things you never want to hear your doctor say. First one is, oops. Second one is, oh shit. And the last one, with the voice inflection, is, well, because that never does end well. So, family, right? We all have them. I don't know how it was for you, but I grew up in a house that were 5 kids. And at home, we could pretty much do whatever we wanted. We could be loud, we could be rambunctious, we could horse around. But when we went out, boy, did the rules change. We had to be quiet, we had to be well-mannered. And if we weren't, my mom turned into this evil ventriloquist. She would get this spooky, toothy grin and say, do you want to go to the car? Well, we did, but we couldn't. So. Now, my brother and sisters became very good at the art of disappearance. If we did something wrong and my mom came into the room, I would notice that within 2 seconds, they were all gone. Probably should have paid more attention in magic school, but I was going to the NFL. Sorry, I'm thinking. So, my mom, I loved her, and was I a pain in the butt? I was. When I did something wrong, I was always threatened that she was going to send me to military school. And this is back in the day when the phones were on the hook. You'd pick it up, you'd hear a buzz, there were extensions. So about the 6th time that my mom picked up the phone and said, hello, military school? I was a little concerned. So I ran down, picked up the extension, and all I heard was a buzz. I wasn't worried anymore. No military school for me. So there are a couple sayings that I remember as a kid. I still don't understand them today. Maybe you guys can help me with this. The one was, I will blister your butt. Well, I knew it was a spanking, but what's up with the blisters? Ouch. And then there's another one that I hear once in a while today too. If you don't stop crying, I will give you something to cry about. Okay? So, who in this room likes technology? Anybody? Yeah. I don't. I'm still having trouble trying to figure out my flip phone. And if I ever do break down and buy a smartphone, Apple and the rest of the companies, they're going to have one hell of a celebration because they got the last holdout. To me, my delete button is that little pink button on the end of the yellow stick. So, last night was pretty rough. I couldn't get to sleep. I was tossing and turning, and it's like, I got to get to sleep. Then, I remembered, it's 7 p.m. That helps. So I got up, went to the bathroom. I didn't want to wake up my wife, so I didn't turn the lights on. Opened the medicine cabinet, took what I thought were 2 at 7 p.m., crawled back into bed, and within 10 minutes, I realized I had not taken at 7 p.m. I had taken 2 Viagra. I was up all night. I didn't fall out of bed though. That was good. So, my wife and I were on vacation, and we're getting ready to go to the pool. And my wife's coming at me with the biggest tube of sunscreen I have ever seen. It looked like a pastry bag. And I said, hon, yeah, I don't need that. She goes, yeah, you do. I said, no. Nothing can fix this. You know, in fact, a couple of months ago, we were at dinner with some high school friends, and one of my friends said, hey, how'd you get that scar on your forehead? And I said, you mean this? He goes, yeah. I go, well, I got that from my dad. Really? What happened? Well, I inherited his shitty skin. So meanwhile, my wife has squeezed out a huge glop of sunscreen, smeared it all over my face, squeezes out another glop. My face, my ears, and my neck. I see her twitching, trying to do a third glop, and I said, stop! You're not frosting a cake. Now, guys, who here is married or with somebody? All right, I got some great advice for you. When you think that these are funny, they apparently are not. If you're at a party and somebody comes up and says, hey, how long have you been married? And you tell them, and then they say, happily? Guys, do not say, I don't know, ask her. Thanks for laughing. And what do I do now, work?
It's okay. Do you have more?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah. And the worst thing that you could say to end an argument is, you're probably right. That's not good. It's not good at all. And if your wife comes up to you and asks, hey, do you want to go to a botanical garden? Do not say, you want to see plants? Go walk around our backyard. And if you're in the hospital for, say, several days, and your wife comes in every morning, stays with you all day long, leaves in the evening, guys, I don't care what drugs that they have you on, do not say, thanks for coming, see you later. So, sorry, I'm lost again. Maybe you should have rehearsed a little better. Yeah, maybe I should have.
Are you doing great?
So, yeah, I'm blanked. Oh, hold on. Cut. Line. Oh, well, okay. So, anyways, you all go out and have yourself a great evening. I know it's got to be better than this. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you later.